What represents a good setup technically to you?
What do you mean by technically?
Do you use any sort of moving averages or nothing like that?
The only thing that I use on my entry,
Mhm.
which 95% of the time is a reversal candle. But it has to be reversal candle. So you want to talk about, let's talk about a buy. Okay.
Yeah, please.
Let's talk about the low on the
Yeah.
stock market, on the S&Ps. Okay.
Sure.
Which
Here,
were,
I'll pull it up here while you're talking, and we'll be able to have it live as we go.
yeah, this was on what, October 13th? October 13th, right? Was the low. See that green arrow?
Yeah, the big green candle right there. Yep.
So what happened on that day?
So it opened down
Mhm.
and then tremendously came back up with
And
a lot of volume.
what was the news on that day? That was CPI day, okay?
Mm.
And at the time, CPI was all anybody cared about, right? And that CPI came out that day, not only the largest CPI of the year, and CPI had been coming out too high all year, right? That was the largest CPI of the year, and it was much higher than anyone was expecting, which is more important, right? It was higher than expected, right? That's the main thing. Very bearish. There was nothing not bearish about that CPI, right?
Right.
Which is the main number that everybody was focusing on. So it gave bears every reason in the world to short, right? Somebody sold that low right after CPI, right? Now, in my eyes, knowing how hard trading is, the market had been going down since what? November,
right?
Okay. So this guy waited this entire time for that CPI number to come out to get short. I'm sorry, that's not how markets do work, man. They're not that easy, right? That, like I was saying before, that's how they bottom, right? And that's exactly how it did bottom. So it closed up that day. So I look at that and I say, okay, everybody's too bearish, everybody's too short, right? And by the way, I had felt that way from way before this. I just never got the market confirmation, which I have to say is the most important thing, right?
Which was this big reversal candle?
Big reversal candle on a hugely negative day, on a hugely negative fundamental print, right? That's the important thing. I call it news failure. So it should have been down because of that CPI number, right? And it wasn't. It closed up. And why is that? In my view, it's because everyone's already short, right? So I buy that close right there, and my stop is that low. So now I have a size, right? Because I know what my stop is, and it's not just some random stop. It's a stop that makes sense. This person that sold that post CPI print should never ever make money. You should never get paid doing that. If trading were that easy, then we'd all be rich, right? You should never get paid doing that. So if you do get paid, well, then I'm wrong, and the market's obviously much weaker than I thought. So there's my stop. There's my entry. I size it, entry to stop, and then I just sit on it.
Do you enter at the close of the day?
I'm supposed to enter at the close of the day. Sometimes I will start to enter a little bit before. If ultimately I'm going to buy 100 in S&Ps, if I'm really feeling it, then I might buy 10 of them, when the print first happens, just in case. And as it starts to go up during the day, I might add to it. But if I don't, then yes, I'll just buy the close. But sometimes, I'll get in a little bit earlier, and sometimes that hurts me. You know what I mean? I'll try to get in early, and then we didn't get this failure. We didn't get the reversal day, and I have to piss out at the end of the day, right? But hopefully I didn't do too many by that point, right? So in theory, the close of the day.
So let's use this as an example. Let's say you're getting in at the close of the day, and it's not hit your exit point. Where do you take profits along this way?
So now I'm monitoring this data. I'm monitoring the long short. I'm monitoring the bull bear. I'm monitoring, all this kind of stuff. And when that goes neutral, because I take this data and I turn it into an oscillator, right? So when my oscillator goes neutral, which means that it doesn't mean people are super long now. It just means people are not long or short. So there's no edge for me for what I do, right? So when my oscillator goes neutral, I get out.
And then are you waiting for another bullish reversal candle to get back in? Like maybe
Well,
this
now I'm
spot
waiting
here?
for my oscillator to get, whacked out one way or the other again first, right? Either people are going to get too long or people are going to get too short. That's first. Once that happens, then I'm waiting for the news failure reversal candle. Yeah.
So how long would you say you go between trades? Like, let's say, for example, you got in here on the 13th, and I'm going to, do you approximately know when you got out, or if you've gotten out?
I'm still long, brother.
Oh, you're still long from there?
Yes.
Wow, look at that. So that's from 350 to 410. And I bet people are calling you crazy the entire time.
Drawdown in the meantime, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a big move down in December. It hurts, but
Well, I mean, looking at this looks like a huge breakout here. Does that mean anything to you? Do you look at breakouts?
I mean, I look at charts, but I don't trade breakouts. I hope everybody thinks it's a huge breakout. And I hope they all go chase it now because,
Yeah.
I'd love to have a nice February.
So when you say you'd love for people to go chase it now, does that mean that you would like a bullish entry on that? Or do you feel like that would be the exhaustion point?
I think that if they chase it, if they start getting out of their shorts, and if they start, being forced out of their shorts, then my stuff is going to show up as, okay, they're not short anymore. Okay, now I got to get out.
Okay,
Right?
and then you're waiting for that bearish reversal candle on news to get
Well,
back in.
I'm waiting first for the oscillator to get to where they're super long now, which could take, I don't know how long, I mean, I'll be out of the market until it happens, but I trade 35 different markets. So
Yeah.
there's no difference to me between, I know everybody loves trading S&Ps. There's no difference between lumber and S&Ps and orange juice and the euro and soybeans. They're all exactly the same to me.
So what is in your oscillator? Is that like your own proprietary oscillator? Is that something that is available on the
Trader
internet?
data, put call ratios, stuff, all participation data like that.
Okay. Gotcha.